And joining us now to discuss the 2024 race, Democratic strategist Jonathan Harris, plus Executive Director of the American Conservative, Curt Mills. Great to have you both with us here. Curt, I'm going to start with you here, anticipating that today could be and will be a great day for former President Trump. How do you think he will fare in Georgia, not just today, but if he does secure the nomination, how do you think he will fare during the general election?
Yeah, look, this primary race is obviously, for all intents and purposes, over. And so the question is how relevant is tonight's performance in the super critical swing state of Georgia? So the election map can be viewed as a two-part thing. First, you have the upper Midwest states of Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, and then you have Arizona, Georgia, Nevada, and you can see different routes to the White House this way. Georgia has been a problem. Of course, the former president is indicted in the Peach State, and additionally, the Republican establishment there has been quite cold to him. But a serious tailwind, an underrated tailwind, was the voter ID law that passed a few years ago that looks like it is likely to stop a lot of potential Democratic subterfuge efforts in the state.
All right, let's talk this. It's Trump versus Biden, barring something insane illegal happening here, Jonathan. So the big issue leading up to the 2024 race is whether or not President Biden will agree to accept former President Trump's request for a debate. Jonathan, now how in the world can we have a presidential election without a good old-fashioned debate?
Well, you could always ask former President Donald Trump because, in fact, and I feel like very often Trump has created this like parallel universe for his supporters to live in. If we recall back to 2020, it was Trump that backed out of the debates, not President Biden. They were scheduled for 3 debates, and Trump backed out of the second one after being handily defeated by Joe Biden in the first debate. He backed out of the second one, and then when he had the third one, President Biden defeated him again. This is according to the majority of polling that took place the following day after the debate. So I think if anybody's afraid to debate anyone, it's Trump, because he's the only one between him and President Biden that has a history of backing out of debate.
Trump has said he would debate Biden for this election cycle.
Anytime, anywhere.
That's right.
He said yes.
Right. And President Biden has said that he's open to debating Trump as well. I mean, look, there's something to be said for whether or not anybody's interested. I mean, there has been a conversation long about how relevant these debates are in the first place, and then watching people go head to head that we've already seen do it twice.
Right.
But again, President Biden has said he's open to debating Donald Trump.
Jonathan, I have to say, I might agree with you in other presidential election years, but I got to say, Curt, seems like a lot of people would be pretty interested in watching former President Trump and President Biden on the same stage together debating. I mean, there's been so much, I'll say, turmoil and drama and things that we've seen over the past several years. I think it might be really major ratings event, of course. But also I want to add to something Jonathan said and get your thought, Curt. President Biden did say that he would consider debating former President Trump, quote, but it depends on his behavior. That sounds like an easy out to me, Curt.
Yeah, with all due respect to my esteemed co-guest here, he's moving the goalposts. Everybody knows that it is Biden that is more recalcitrant to debate than Trump. And the language exhibited right there is that of a scolding school teacher more than somebody who's licking his chops to get into the arena of Trump. That all being said, I do think Biden is going to have a lot of trouble avoiding at least debating the man once. If the grand narrative of this campaign is that Biden is too feeble, too weak, and too frightened to debate his predecessor, what does that signal to voters? And then secondly, we have to remember that so many Americans don't view the 2020 campaign as normal. And that's just far beyond the people who believe that there were hijinks in the vote on the Republican side. There wasn't a proper campaign, and that proper campaign was seen as benefiting the alleged or so-called basement campaign of the current president. I really do think that if Biden thinks he can just, go on cruise control here and just repeat what worked in 2020, he's in for a rude surprise.
Stay in the basement. Jonathan, I'll give you a chance to respond. Do you really don't think that the debates would have much sway here? I feel like, to Katrina's point, there would be people
watching. Get out
watching.
the popcorn and
Sure. I think a lot of people would be watching. I would just say, one, that when Biden says that, it is because the last time they debated, when he said it depends on his conduct, it was because the last time that they debated, particularly the first time they debated, Trump was seen universally as just being chaotic. He acted like a maniac. He was yelling over Biden, over the moderator. And even in their second debate, which was better, Trump was still the one interrupting and yelling over people. And that's not a debate. It's just a stage for Trump to act like a maniac.
Jonathan, I don't know if people would agree with your assessment there. That sounds like more of an opinion.
No, I assure you, they literally did the numbers. They checked how many times Trump interrupted. He interrupted Biden.
Maybe as I'm just interrupting you, but maybe not. The word maniac will let that.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying. I think that's where Biden is what he's referring to when he says that.
Well, we shall see here as things.
Oh, but gosh, golly, I hope they do. I really want to see that.
I do too. I'd love to see that.
Okay.
Jonathan Harris, thanks for coming on Daily Dem. Okay, Curt Mills, we appreciate you as well. Thank you, gentlemen.